What does Taylor Swift, Game of Thrones, and Surrogacy all have in common, you might ask? Well, these three happen to be things that have been occupying my mind all week long. So I thought I'd sit down and share them with you. I want to hear your thoughts, feelings, opinions, and comments down below. Let me know what you think about each one of these topics. The first one to get us started is going to be surrogacy. I was listening to my favorite radio show the other day, and one of the Jonas Brothers came up, and I'm not really sure which one he is, but I do know that he is married to Sansa Stark, who happens to be named Sophie Turner in real life, but I don't know which of the brothers she's married to. I think one of the Jonas Brothers' name is Nick, and I think the other one's name is Joe, and there might actually be another one that I don't know about, but I feel like there's three. Whenever I became aware of the Jonas Brothers, it just so happens that I also became aware of One Direction. And for a while, I thought that the Jonas Brothers and One Direction were the same people, but I guess not. I don't know. I don't know what they're called. Anyways, so I was listening to the radio show and they were talking about one of said brothers who happens to be married to Sansa Stark. And we'll come back to her in a minute. We're not talking about Sansa Stark. First, we're talking about surrogacy. I remember reading about this a while back. Now, I don't know how long ago it was. My sense of time has been a little messy recently. But the other Jonas brother happens to be married to Priyanka Chopra. I'm bad with names. I can tell you like what she's in and what her face looks like, but I can't tell you what her name is. Don't take it personally. I don't know what anybody's name is these days. Anyway, we're going to use a surrogate for their child. They wanted to have a child, and I believe it was for medical reasons. The missus could not carry a child herself. So my question to you all is, do you think it's okay for women to use a surrogate, or is that not allowed? I feel like I've heard split opinions coming from both ends. You got the people on the one side, oh, well, that's just because you're rich. If you weren't rich, you wouldn't be able to have a baby anyways.
Yes, I'm rich, and if I want to have somebody else carry a baby so that it doesn't ruin my body, I'm going to.
I mean, personally, I feel like if you want to have your own baby, but you can't carry it yourself because you've got some kind of a medical condition that prevents you from having the baby, and you also have the financial means to have somebody else do it for you, like, why not? But I know, everybody has their own opinion. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think it's okay to have a surrogate in the event that you can't do it yourself? Or if you can do it yourself, but you're choosing not to because you don't want to ruin your body, do you still get points for being a mom because you didn't let the baby ruin your body? I feel like having your body ruined is kind of like a rite of passage to motherhood, but I don't really know, because then you have to get involved with people who have like adoption, and then you've got the issue of, adoptions and fostering people. It gets pretty messy pretty quickly. So what do you think? Do you think that's okay or it's not okay? Surrogate or no surrogate? Topic number 2. Getting back to Sansa Stark. Oh, God, if I wasn't so lazy, I would turn around and use the computer behind me and type in Nick and Joe Jonas, who is married to Sophie Turner. Joe. No, that Nick. Ooh. I don't know which one to pick. Anyways, so the radio show was talking about how Sansa Stark and unnamed Jonas brother are getting a divorce. And naturally, because of how my brain works, one Jonas brother and the other Jonas brother connected. That's how I got to like the surrogate thing. Now, moving on to Game of Thrones. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones, don't listen to what I'm about to say, because there's going to be a spoiler alert. So, Sansa Stark and Sandor Clegane belong together. In the books, it would have been a little bit weird because Sansa Stark is like 12 and the Hound is not 12. In the show, I think it was more fitting because, she kind of grew up with him, and whenever she got into adulthood and turned into Dark Sansa, who's brooding around the castle, it would have made so much more sense to have dark, brooding Sansa throw that annoying guy off the wall and go live happily ever after with the Hound. Team Sandor Clegane and Sansa Stark. Together forever. It's like the ultimate Beauty and the Beast combo. Women are obsessed with the Beauty and the Beast complex. And there's probably a good reason for that. I'm sure there's some deep-rooted psychological and biological reason why ladies want to have the bad boy, but who's also sweet and tender on the inside. It probably has something to do with kicking the other caveman's ass, but also being sweet and nurturing to the babies at home. I could have watched a whole show with just Sansa Stark and the Hound. He's my favorite character. I'm not really happy with how things went with him in the book or in the show, so I think I'm gonna need Mr. Martin to write a whole new series following Sansa Stark and Sandor Clegane. A little secret love affair behind Joffrey's back. Oh, Joffrey. Let me know if you've ever hated a character more than Joffrey in any show. I was so happy when that little prick died. He deserved to die like so much. What a little shithead. Let me know if you guys agree with me. Do you think that Sansa Stark and Sandor Clegane should have their own show or their own book even? I'm sure there's probably other shows and other books that have basically the same thing, but I'm really attached to the Hound for some reason. There was something so touching about how he was nice to Sansa. He called her little bird, and I know that he wanted to secretly rescue her from Joffrey. What a great show. You guys remember whenever we had to wait for an eternity between the second to last season and the last season? I mean, it was a really long time. I do remember thinking, watching like the second to last season, what are we going to do? We have to wait like 3 years for the next season to come out. It was a really long time. I strongly suggest that everybody who is making a TV show not to make their audience wait that long. It was too long of a wait for not a good enough turnout. As nice as it would have been to have the show keep going forever, I suppose they had to end it somehow. And I'm actually pretty okay with who ends up on the throne in the Game of Thrones. If you haven't watched the show, you have to watch it to find out. But be warned, that show is not for children. That is not a child show. Don't let your children watch that show. And that brings us to our final topic, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. There has been a big bunch of uproar in the media recently about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Now, if you don't know who these two people are, it wouldn't be hard for you to figure it out because they are probably on every social media site right now. I heard them talking about it on the news, like my local news channel. Are they even allowed to do that? Heard about it on the radio, which is why I'm bringing it up today. And I've been thinking about it all week. The Swifties are kind of adamant about Taylor not being with Mr. Kelce because he's got a sketchy past, maybe a little bit of cheating going on, some dishonesty. But I don't know. Like, I have no idea. I don't know anything about Travis Kelce, just that he's annoying and he plays for the Chiefs. Oh, why is he annoying? You're just jealous. No, it's not that I'm jealous. Travis Kelce might be a wonderful, lovely person, but he gets on my nerves because he and Patrick Mahomes are like this insatiable football duo. Go somewhere else, Kelce. You can come play for my team. Anyways, I like Taylor Swift. I think her music is lovely. So I'm hearing a lot of backlash from the Swifties on the one hand. Let me know what you guys think. Should Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce keep it up? What if they get married and have babies? I bet they would have beautiful babies. They look like they would create nice babies. I mean, with two like hot parents like that, they would probably make, the next Chris Hemsworth looking kid. You know what I mean? Like two good set of genes, you got to have baller kid. I feel like Taylor Swift, she spent a long time in her previous relationship and wasn't really in the spotlight. But now that she's been hanging out with Mr. Kelce, I have been seeing them plastered all over the interwebs, on social media and on the news and on the radio. In between halftime the other day, whenever the Chiefs were playing the Bears, the announcers were talking about it. Like, what? What do you know about them? Let me know what you think. To date or not to date, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I say these are two consenting adults and they can date whoever they want. But if I was Taylor Swift, I would not date Travis Kelce because I don't trust him. Don't do it. I feel like Taylor's like sweet and innocent somehow, and that Mr. Kelce is not sweet and innocent. Even though I don't really know anything about him, my initial vibe is that he's probably kind of a douchebag. And I don't really think Taylor Swift is a douchebag. All I can see is her little sad face whenever Kanye West got on stage and stole her award. Like, what was that about? Can we just talk about that for a second? Of all of the weird things that have ever happened, go pull it up on YouTube right now. Kanye West interrupting Taylor Swift's music award or whatever. She was supposed to be accepting this award, and Kanye West like goes on stage and interrupts the whole thing, talking about how she did not deserve it. Like she wasn't good enough for it and that it should have been Beyonce, I think. I don't remember. This was a while back. How rude. Have you no manners? So, all of that to say, these things have been occupying my mind recently, and I would love to hear your thoughts, feelings, opinions, comments on everything that we've talked about. So, whether or not you should be allowed to use a surrogate, if there's nothing wrong with your body and you have the money, or if there is something wrong with your body and you also happen to have the money, should you still be able to do it? Do you get full mom credit if you didn't give birth? I would just like to say I'm coming from a very neutral standpoint here. I'm not judging anybody who has or has not used a surrogate. That's none of my business. I'm simply asking for your opinions. What do you think? Do you think this should be allowed or not allowed? Do you think that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce should be dating? Do you think we should have a whole show dedicated to Sansa Stark and Sandor Clegane? Yes, I do. I would watch the shit out of that show. But I'm a huge fan of the Beauty and the Beast complex. Walt Disney's Beauty and the Beast was my favorite, like growing up. And I'm talking about the animated version. The people version was trash, but I can make a whole separate video about that. Join me next time as I talk trash about the live action version of Beauty and the Beast. Or maybe I'll talk about something else, like aliens. Aliens have been on my mind a lot recently. They've also been in the news. Or UFOs, or they're not even called that anymore. They're called something else now, like CPAs or something. I don't know. Thanks for watching today, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm curious because I don't have anybody to like run these thoughts by. Most of my friends have abandoned me. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think. That's you commenting. I think there should be a whole show dedicated to Sansa Stark and Sandor Clegane. Yes, me too. Good. I'm so glad that we're on the same page. I think that Taylor Swift should get a different boyfriend. I'm glad that we're on the same side. This is a very important issue in everyone's life for who Taylor Swift is dating. This is my first video, guys. I'm going to try and do this often where I just kind of, unpack some of the things that have been occupying my brain. I think I'm going to continue talking to myself in a camera and then getting feedback from strangers on the internet about Sansa Stark and the Hound, who hopefully should get their own show. I will personally write a letter to Mr. Martin talking about how they deserve their own stuff. Did you, hold the phone. Fun fact, did you know that Mr. Martin had a hand in writing Beauty and the Beast? Let me just fact check this on my handy dandy smartphone. It says before Beauty and the Beast became a 1991 Disney animated feature, now a blockbuster live action adaptation, it captivated adults as a 1987 CBS fantasy romance series. I bet. And you know why? Because most of the fan base is female, and most females just eat up this Beauty and the Beast complex, as is evident by 50 Shades of Grey, the fastest selling paperback of all time. All these pervy women shut in their houses reading dirty books. It wasn't even that good. I read the first book and was like, oh, it's okay. I could have a whole other series about the 50 Shades of Grey. In fact, I think I'm going to write that down. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I'm so glad you're here. I need somebody to talk to. I've been feeling really lonely recently, and this is going to be a great way for me to share what's on my brain with you guys. And I will hear from y'all next time down in my comments below, right? Bye.